Big changes are coming to the UK immigration, and these changes can affect students, workers, families, and even people just trying to visit the UK. These updates are official and is straight from Home Office. It's beginning to take effect this 2025, and some will start 2026 and 2027. So if you're already in the UK as a student, or you're working, or you're here as a visitor, or even planning to visit the UK for any reason, this video is for you. Please stay with me and watch till the end, because what you are about to hear could change your plans. So it's no longer news that the UK has released a major statement of changes called HC 1333. HC is known as House of Commons, and 133 is just the name given to it. HC 1333. So this updates rules for visa settlements, English level requirements, and also how the Home Office judges your previous immigration history. So wait, let's break it down in a simple term that you will understand. Don't swipe yet. There is something new that the Home Office introduced called the Path Suitability. This is where the bigger changes lies. This new Path Suitability has replaced the old Part 9, which is the general ground of which visas are being refused. So now it's called Path Suitability. And what does that mean? Don't worry, I'll break it down. It means that the Home Office has more power now to refuse your visa if your immigration history is not clean. So you may wonder, what could make your immigration history not to be clean? I'm going to list the things that will make it not to be clean. So this includes overstaying. So if you have ever overstayed in the UK, maybe you came in as a student and your visa expired, you are overstaying. And now maybe you're married to someone who is settled and you want to switch to their visa. For the fact that you are an overstayer is enough ground for Home Office to refuse your visa. Another one is using false documents. So if you have falsified your documents for any reason, maybe your age, or maybe you come as a student to study in the UK with a false document, in any way that you have falsified your documents, if Home Office finds out, is enough ground to refuse your visa. If you ever have any unpaid NHS debts, they can refuse your visa because of that. Also, if you're working illegally in the UK, or if you have ever worked illegally in the UK, is another reason. Even if you have repeated rough sleeping. Now you may wonder, what is rough sleeping? Just to be clear, repeated rough sleeping means that a person has been found to be sleeping on the street multiple times. Even when help or accommodation was offered, they refused it. So if you are found to be sleeping on the street multiple times and a help is offered, accommodation was given to you and you refuse, that is called repeated rough sleeping. So it's not like a one-off something. It's not like you went to school, you're stranded, you couldn't go home, and then you sleep on the street. Or it's not a one-off thing. It is when that behavior is being repeated over time and a help is offered and you refuse. So that is also another ground that can make your visa to be refused. So in simple terms, it means that compliance matters more, and any single mistake that you have done can affect your future applications. Now let's talk about the changes that was made to student and graduate routes. Starting from January 2027, the graduate visa known as post-study work routes will now be reduced from 2 years to 18 months. For PhD graduates, this is not affecting them. They still get their 3 years. Everyone else loses half a year. So if it's not PhD, everyone else will get 18 months starting from January 2027. So any application that is made from that time is going to be 18 months. And one thing that you should know is that financial requirement has increased too. So for those coming over to study in the UK, if you're planning for your proof of fund, you should know that it has increased, and it depends on your location where you want to settle, whether it's in the London or outside London. If you are going to live in London, you must have £1,529. Then if you're living outside London, you must have £1,171 per month. So you have to do the calculation and know the number of months that your study will take. If it's a study that is 1 year, it means 12 months. So you multiply these pounds that I've mentioned now by 12 months, and you know the amount of money that you will leave in your proof of fund for that period. So if you're already in the UK, you have to plan ahead. If you're planning to apply for any kind of visa, you need to double check and make sure that you are eligible. Make sure that you're not breaking any of these rules that I've mentioned. Just double check and make sure that everything is okay, that there is no reason for your visa to be refused. Now, there is updates to the skilled worker visa routes. So for those on skilled worker visa, this part suitability also applies. It means that if you have ever overstayed before, or you have breached immigration rule in the past, it can affect your visa application, even if your salary and your job meets the requirement. Also, the Home Office has also updated the SOC code for job requirement. Occupation codes under SOC 2020 has been updated, so workers and employers must make sure that their job title and code are aligned with the new tables. Another changes that was made is on English language requirements and life in the UK test. So there is updates on this one as well. So from January 2026, the English language requirements will increase from B1 to B2 for most visas now. And guys, this is very huge. So this is like jumping from a conversational English to a professional English. Before now, people say that it's not very difficult. So it means that going forward is expected to be difficult because it's more like a professional mode. You know, it's going to be more difficult compared to how it is now, but it's starting from January 2026. So I advise, if in any way you are expected to write this exam, just do fast and write it now before this change starts. For people applying for settlement or family visas, passing both English and life in the UK test becomes very essential. For those on skilled worker visa, they have already done that, you know, before. So they only have to like write the life in the UK test. But for every other person, like those on independent visa, they write the English test alongside with life in the UK test. So if you don't pass any of these tests, you're going to get a limited leave and not indefinite leave to remain. There is changes made on visitors visa. Before now, visitors from Botswana and Palestine, they don't need visit visa. They only need like emergency travel documents for them to come to the UK, but that has changed. So going forward, if you're from Botswana or you're from Palestine, you are going to get a visa before coming to the UK as a visitor. And this rule, it already began in October 2025. Another change is on the statelessness route. It has been rewritten. I think I'm going to make a separate video on this route, so keep an eye on that. So this route has new section for suitability, eligibility, and settlements. Also, dependent of statelessness applicants have their structured pathway now. So I think I'm going to make a separate video on this so that we can understand this pathway very well. These people are not recognized as citizens of any country at all. So they are regarded as being stateless. Statelessness route is for these people. They don't have any country that they can call their own. The bigger picture here is that the UK is tightening its system. There is higher English requirements, stricter checks, shorter visas, and all of that. You know, all these are measures, ways that UK government is using to tighten their borders and to reduce the number of people entering the UK. So if you plan to move, to study, or to work in the UK, make sure that your applications are clean and accurate, and also submit them on time. You need to avoid overstaying and keep evidences of your finance ready, and also your English language requirements. You can take the test and keep it ready. And don't forget to always double check your visa conditions. So let me ask, Do these changes make UK immigration too strict, or does it make it simply organized? What's your thought? Do you think it's fair? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you have any question, please drop it and I will reply. Now, if you get any value from this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and also share to more people so that they get to see this video. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Ollie, and I will see you guys in my next video. For now, you take care. Bye bye.